Hello, everyone. This is Trevor Woodbury with SoundVision Technologies. I'm the sales director for the West Coast over here, and I'm excited to talk to you guys today about what we have new and forthcoming by the way of our brands, our main brands, mainly TruAudio and VSSL. That is what I'm going to talk to you about today, kind of give you a sneak peek into some of what's new, maybe some teasers on what's to come, and we'll cover a kind of a broad range of products. But again, mainly it's just to give you guys an update as to what we have that's new, released, and forthcoming. So please, as Angela said, don't hesitate to drop questions at the chat box as this presentation goes. We'll have a Q&A session at the very end. So as you have questions come up, write them down, put them in the chat box so you don't forget them, and we will address them at the end of the presentation. Without any further ado, I'll get started here. Just to kind of quickly go over this very briefly, we've obviously done some presentations in the past now, which I believe you all have access to all of those if you want to go back and look at any of them. But for those of you who might be new joining us for the first time, I just want to give you a brief synopsis or overview of our brand and who we are. SoundVision Technologies is our blanket company, and we cover a variety of brands. TruAudio probably being our most known, VSSL being our largest growing right now, and then we've got a number of other brands in Current Audio, which is another speaker company. Forge is a racking, like Copper, it's a bulk wire brand, and Padamount is an in-wall iPad docking solution. Today we're going to focus mainly on TruAudio and VSSL brands. Just again, a quick overview of us. We're founded back in '99, so we've been in business now for just over 20 years. TruAudio was the first brand to get started, which is why it's also the most well-known. We're a company that was founded by installers with installers in mind. And so with a lot of the new products that I'll talk about today, you'll kind of get a feel for just what that means. We're always trying to keep the integrator or the installer in mind and at the heart of all of our new product developments. Obviously, we're very passionate about what we do. We're passionate about sound quality and the overall quality of our products, but we've always got the installer in mind with all the products we come out with. How can we help the installers save time on jobs? How can we help them save money? What can we do that's innovative as far as that goes? And you'll get a good taste for that as we dive into some of the new products we've got. We are a privately held company. Our corporate office is in southern Utah, and we've got another location stateside that's over in Georgia, as well as obviously our strategic partners, Streakwave, one, and they've got their shipping locations throughout the U.S. as well. We are very much a worldwide company. We've got warehouses overseas, and continuing to grow each year, which has been very exciting, especially with the addition of some of our new brands, which again we'll dive into here. I don't want to spend a lot of time on this, but just some of our key selling points. Again, we're a company that was started by integrators with integrators in mind. We do have industry-leading warranties, limited lifetime on all of our indoor passive audio products, as well as our Forge racking solutions. We've got a industry-leading limited 5-year warranty on all of our electronic equipment, so amplifiers, powered subwoofers, as well as our outdoor product. And then as far as our VSSL product goes, it carries a 1-year warranty. And for those of you who don't know about VSSL, I'm about to dive straight into that. We are a very healthy margin product set. We also stay very protected as far as our online presence goes. That's one thing I feel like we do an exceptional job at is making sure we monitor where our prices are online and being able to be shopped online, so on and so forth, making sure that our partners, our integrators, and other strategic partners feel protected and know that we can offer strong margins and not be shopped by end users easily, which is everything. The more money that goes back into your pocketbooks, the better, especially in a world of technology where it seems like that's being taken away more and more. I want to start off first with our Vessel product set and talking about mainly what is new. So we've done some presentations in the past, at least one or two, about the Vessel products and some trainings. We won't be spending a ton of time on training how the product's used, although we'll briefly go over it. But again, today's focus is letting you know of the changes that we have, the upgrades, and the new products. If you do have tech-related questions, don't hesitate to ask those. I'm sure we'll have time to answer them during Q&A today. But if you are looking for more specific product training on just Vessel itself, I would advise you to reach out to your sales rep at Streakwave, and they can direct you to where the videos are or trainings are that they have recorded in the past. So Vessel started out, as you can see here, we've got three products, the Vessel A1, the Vessel A3, and the Vessel A6. We have now upgraded to the X series. So now we've renamed these products the A1X, the A3X, and the A6X accordingly. What does that mean? Well, for those of you who know a little bit about Vessel, native streaming is really what we practice and preach. That's what makes us stand apart from some of the other major competitors out there. Sonos being obviously probably the biggest one, but what native streaming is the ability to stream or cast out of whatever native app the end user likes to use. So we advertise that we do not need to use a third-party app in order to control your music, control the music playing to your house, different zones in your house or rooms in your house or business. Instead, you just live and breathe out of that app that you are already used to. And I'll show you a quick video here that will give you a better idea of that. Again, this is kind of for those who don't know about Vessel yet. For some of you, this may be a little bit of a repeat. But this is showing how we cast. So right here, we're showing Apple Music. We're using Airplay as the streaming function. As you can see, the zone names are all already named. That's on the programming side. You can go through using now Airplay 2 and select all the zones on the fly that you want to stream to very easily. Control your volume, all that's done from the device. Now we're showing you how to cast using the casting icon, which looks a little bit different than Airplay. As you can see down below, you've got Airplay and Google Cast. This is showing how to do it out of Pandora. Spotify is very similar. You'll have a little icon to select, and you can either select the Google Cast icon or the Apple Airplay icon. We're on an iOS device, and we're off running using those streaming protocols. So having both the Cast and the Airplay options, or the Apple option, allows you to be able to stream from either an iOS device or an Android device, iPads, tablets, whatever it might be. You can stream from, and you can stream a number of devices. Really, as many zones as you have in the house is how many devices you can have streaming. So you can have separate music playing to each zone that you have set up in your Vessel ecosystem. Again, it's just a brief explanation. I'm assuming a lot of you have at least been introduced or kind of know the basis of this already. And hopefully a lot of you have had a chance to get some Vessel product in your hands already and play with it. If you have not, and you are interested in this and adding this to your arsenal of what you're offering, then I would suggest that you get in touch with your sales rep, and we'd love to get an A1 or get some sort of a Vessel product in your hands, so you can really get a feel for how it functions and how to set it up, how easy it is to use, so that you can see maybe the benefit of adding something like this to your business. So Airplay 2 is relatively new, a huge upgrade from Airplay 1 on the Apple side of things. The biggest thing that allows you to do now is stream to zones and create party zones on the fly. So when you pull up your device and you hit the Apple Airplay icon, it's going to pull up a menu that looks like this. And if you have streaming endpoints in the house, which the Vessel, each zone would be a streaming endpoint, on the programming side, you as the integrator or installer has already gone in and created the names that your customer wants. So you might have something that looks like this: family room, office, den, backyard, that type of thing. Those will all now show up as streaming endpoint possibilities. And the customer can now go, and with Airplay 2, they can click on multiple zones and they will play together and give you individual volume control right there on your device for each zone. So if you want to play it super low in the kitchen, but have it blasting, outside on your patio, you now have the ability to do that very easily straight from your device. And then vice versa, you can go into deselect zones as you want to stop listening to music in those areas. So Airplay 2 has made it very easy. It's what I prefer to use. It's the streaming protocol that I like. The majority of probably your customers are going to have iOS devices. But again, for those who have Android, that's why we have Google Cast also built into the Vessel units, so that they're not limited to just having to use an Apple device. The biggest change to the Vessel X series is the ability to now integrate with Amazon Alexa. And you'll notice in parentheses here, I've got coming soon. This is, we've now launched the X series. The units are moving. Traditionally, with our first, our legacy products, they were only working with Google voice control straight out of the box. We have been working vigorously to get Amazon to allow us to do something, and what we ideally wanted was one console that could do both Google integration and Alexa integration, depending on what the homeowner wanted. And we were finally able to achieve this. So this is a huge success, and a lot of our customers have been waiting for this, especially the ones that have customers who have a Alexa-friendly home and don't like the Google Voice stuff. This is huge now, a huge win. And not only can you use Google and Alexa separately, you can actually use them together simultaneously on the same system now. So you could program your zones to work with either or both. You can also now program your Vessel to work with just Airplay. So if the customer just has an Apple device, that's all they're ever going to have. They don't care to use the Google Voice or the Amazon Voice functions, then it's very easy to just bypass those setups and set it up using Airplay. And I've got a little video, we'll kind of touch base on that and show you how easy it is to set up using all three protocols actually. But again, this is one of the huge changes. It's something that our Vessel customers have been waiting for a long time now, is the ability to work and integrate with Amazon Alexa. The A1X, so not a lot changed as far as the look and design from the original product, but again, the biggest change here is that it is Alexa certified and will now work with Amazon. As far as everything else goes on the unit, it did stay the same. We still have the subwoofer out. This is still the only unit that can be set up and used on Wi-Fi instead of through a hardwire Ethernet connection. The A3 and the A6 still have to be a hardwire Ethernet connection. So that is something very important to note when you are designing these in a customer's homes. The A1 can be set up with Wi-Fi. The A3 and the A6 have to be set up with Ethernet connection. But the A1 can also be set up with a hardwire connection. And as you all know, that's the most stable way, and usually the best way to go. But obviously there are situations where that's not a possibility, especially in like a retrofit older home where you just can't run those wires anymore. Having something that can run off of the Wi-Fi is a big deal in those cases. Just looking at the back of the unit here, you'll notice it looks very much the same. You still have the ability to turn off the amplification in this product, so you could just have it run as a source. That's if you want to connect it to a higher powered amplifier. You have the ability to do so. As you can see, you've got all the ins and outs that you could possibly want on here, from just traditional RCA to optical, coax, everything. You've also got network ins and outs if you wanted to, daisy chain out to other Vessel products. You can do so using the network ins and outs of this. Again, I just barely mentioned this. You can turn off the amplification in the Vessel A1 and run it through a higher powered amplifier. We're showing you a TruAudio A75 amplifier there. It pushes quite a bit more power per channel. So if you've got heavier power speakers, and sound is a more of a important issue to the homeowner, then you have the ability to do so and still have the vessel as a good cost-effective source for your streaming. The A3X, again, biggest changes would be that we have Alexa now built into all 3 zones. You'll notice, though, we have made some physical changes to the A3 and the A6. We've gotten rid of the silver or the chrome faceplate and gone for a brushed aluminum black. That came at the request of many of our integrator partners wanting to have a more sleek look inside of a traditional rack, because these are typically mounted into a rack, especially the A3 and the A6. So the A3, for those of you who don't know, this is basically cabin 3 A1s built into one system. Biggest differences, like I said, are that these have to be hardwired, as well as these also put out a significant amount more of power per channel. So your A1 has 35 watts of power per channel. It's just a little 2-channel unit. This has now 6 channels, 3 zones, and it puts out 50 watts to each of those channels. So a little bit of physical change there. We hope you guys like that, and having it look a little bit more sleek inside of a rack, a little more modern. Another big change we made to both the A3 and the A6 is that they have Matrixable inputs and outputs now. So we've got, as you look at the back of this, we've got inputs and now outputs for each zone. So that is a new addition in case you want to run each zone and just use them as sources and run out to a 70-volt amplifier or a more high-powered, again, amplifier solution, or maybe a home theater system. You now have the ability to use this as a matrix. Moving on, the A6 is going to be basically all the same changes as the A3 and A1, only this is our 6-zone unit. It takes up it's a 2U space, but again, you'll notice we've got the new brushed aluminum black faceplate on here, and everything else is going to be similar to what I just showed you with the A3. So you've got ins and outs for every zone, all 6 zones on this thing. Another good thing about that is you've got the ability to do sub outs for each zone. So through the Vessel app, you can control your sub outs, control the frequency that goes to those, and now have a subwoofer optional. So you'd run out of one of these into a external subwoofer amplifier, and then you can easily add a subwoofer to any zone that you would want. So if they want heavier bass in the kitchen or the bedroom, wherever it might be, you've got the ability to do that now very easily with the new X series. This I'm going to quickly show you here and just kind of talk you through it. This is going to show you some of the differences. If any of you have set up the Legacy series vessels, this will look a little bit familiar to you, but this is really going to highlight the changes now of the app setup and show you now how to set up with Google Home, which is how it's always been done. So again, those of you who have programmed one will recognize this, but it's also going to show you how to bypass that and just set it up with Airplay. And then it's also going to show us how to set it up with Amazon now. I'm going to do my best here to just talk you through this because the audio portion of this is not working out great. So this is just a screenshot of a device here, and you've got the Vessel app, which can be downloaded on the iOS store, the Android store. So now when you jump into your Vessel app and you've got a vessel that has not been programmed, it's going to show up just like this. So here you can see you've got an A3X sitting on the system waiting to be programmed. It's going to recognize that and show that in this menu here as soon as you get into your Vessel app. So what you're going to do is click on or select your first vessel that you want to set up. If you have multiple vessels, they'll show up here on this list. So you're going to check that, and then you're going to hit next. It's immediately going to prompt you to go to the Google Store, the Google Home Store. If you want to set it up using Google Home, which again traditionally has been how you set up a vessel in the past. And then there's step-by-step that using the Google Home app. We're not going to spend a lot of time showing you that just because we've got other videos that have done that in the past, and that's how the old vessel works. So again, if you need more information on that, resort back to one of the past videos. Real quickly here, he is just going to kind of show you what it looks like. So if you're in the Google Home app, you're going to have this little setup devices here. And then it leads you into, or we've got some of the videos from the past, so you can jump in and use those as a resource if you need to. So in this video, we're going to just bypass all that. We're going to skip it. It is going to throw up this error and say that it's going to kind of try and prompt you to go back to Google Home, but we're going to skip it to set it up using just Airplay. So once you hit the skip up in the top, it's going to take you to this. You're going to rename your zones. And here we're just calling them test 1, test 2, test 3. Obviously in a home, you're going to call them something different: bedroom, kitchen, patio, whatever it might be. And then you're going to hit next at the top. It's as simple as that for Airplay, for setting up with Airplay. You're done at that point. So now you'd be able to go into your device, hit your Airplay icon, and you're going to see all 3 of those zones. So very easy to do now for those who just want to stick to Apple devices and just use the Airplay to function. This is the new section now of setting up with Alexa or Alexa Voice. So this will look new to everybody, but it's going to show. He's obviously gone in and already changed the names to test 1, test 2, test 3. So that's what it's showing. Otherwise, it would say, vessel with a series of numbers, and you go through and set up each one. So what you do on there is you'll notice you hit the first zone and hit login with Amazon. It's going to take you to your Amazon login. So you're going to have to actually sign in using your, you want to use your customer's Amazon if they have an account. Again, this is assuming they want to use the Alexa function. Otherwise, you wouldn't even have to do this at all. Once you sign into Amazon, you allow the Vessel A1 to sign in. It's going to take you back to the Vessel application, back to this menu where we're loading here, and that is it. Once you've logged in, now you notice he's got a check mark here. You'll go through to your second and your third zones. Again, this is using a Vessel A3. That's why you have 3 zones here. And you'll do the same thing. Just log in each zone with Amazon. Once you do all 3, or if you've got an A6, you do all 6, it's going to tell you you're complete and you're off and ready to use it with Alexa. So it's very simple. That's why I wanted to show you guys this video. Again, it shows the changes we've made to the setup process, just trying to streamline it and make it very easy to do. Now you've got 3 ways to set up a Vessel instead of just one way, forcing you to set it up through the Google Home app. I personally love this feature now that we've got 3 ways to set it up. So we kind of cater to everybody's wants and needs here. Moving on, this is so that highlights the big changes we've made with Vessel. They obviously being Amazon friendly, having the audio outs on the bigger units would be the biggest changes to highlight. Here, I'm not going to spend time covering networking stuff. We've done that in videos in the past. But if you just want to briefly look at this, and again, I'll point out the A1 is the only one that can run off of a Wi-Fi connection. The A3 and the A6 have to be a hardwired Ethernet connection. A lot of you are already networking experts, so I would expect that, or assume that a lot of you would be very familiar with how to get things functioning at the highest abilities using your proper network. Again, if you want to take a look at this just for a short resource, this is the recommended topography for your network. So you'd run out of your ISP gateway or modem to your router. If you've got a network switch on the project, then you would run out from that network switch to your device's Vessel and or access points, other devices you might have. That's how it looks. That is it by way of Vessel. Again, the X series is now out, shipping and available. We've got the A1X, the A3X, and the A6X. Something to note that I do want to just make sure everyone is aware of, because we are jumping the gun just slightly. Amazon, we're still in a waiting process with Amazon for them to give their full certification. They've already passed off as far as how we've done everything, and given us the go on that. However, we do have to now wait for the official certification. Unfortunately, it's a process where we're kind of at their mercy. It's something that could be done in the next day. It's something that could take a week. It could take, possibly a month on the high end if they decide to drag things out. Again, we're kind of at the mercy of Amazon right now. We're in a waiting line with other companies, trying to get their things certified through Amazon as well. So once that is pushed, we'll send out just a blanket product update. So software updates will be pushed to all units, and then all the changes will just take place through that update. So again, don't hesitate if you need a product and you're speccing projects now. I would expect that Amazon certification to be done very shortly. So probably any upcoming or future projects you might have, that's going to be already available. If you've got something you've already purchased that is an X series and it's sitting on a project right now, just know that you may have to wait just a little bit longer for that to get pushed out. If you have more questions, though, don't hesitate to reach out to your reps or Vessel customer support. We can give you any additional information we've got there. Just to give you a slight tease on Vessel, I don't have anything to show you. This will be covered in future presentations, but something to look forward to. We are going to be showing or releasing 3 new products. Hopefully, we're hoping by the end of the year. It may roll into the beginning of next year. But it's going to be a subwoofer, wireless 3-channel soundbar, and a wireless speaker. That can all now be tied together to make a 5.1 surround sound system, or to just be wireless distributed audio throughout a house. So again, more products to kind of help us go head to head with some of the other big competitors out there, and more of a product set and opportunity for you guys to sell and have those products available to offer. Something exciting to look forward to. And again, we'll have some future presentations as we get closer to those launch times and have more accurate dates. We'll be sure to keep you all updated, and we'll have announcements and hopefully some great promotional offers to go along with that. Quick side note for any of you who are planning on attending a big trade show called CEDIA in September, which is kind of the residential technology super trade show of the year. It's going to be in Indianapolis this year, but if you're planning on attending, don't be shy. Come by and stop by our booth, and we'll have these new products to show you on the Vessel side: the soundbar, the subwoofer, the standalone speaker. So if you want to get more information on that, kind of a early point, then come to CEDIA and come see us at that trade show. We'd be happy to show you around and teach you more about what we have coming. Jumping into now the TruAudio side of things, we're going to show you some of the big changes we've made to some of our long-standing, tried and true flagship speaker lines. First being the Ghost series. So the Ghost series has been TruAudio's kind of bread and butter, if you will, or flagship speaker as far as our highest end in-ceiling speaker goes. It was the speaker we first came out with years ago when we released a bezel-less magnetic grill. So you could have it look very clean up on a ceiling. You could actually paint those grills to match, and they didn't have any kind of a plastic bezel around the outside, so they just had a really clean look to it. We're actually the first to do so. Now pretty much every speaker company has something like that to offer, but that was where the birth of the Ghost name kind of took place. Flash forward though to today. First, I will show you this. So these are the old Ghost speakers, and again, they've been our flagship and our tried and true speaker for a long time. We've had them in multiple sizes and price point options, quality options. I have them available in carbon fiber and a polypropylene. As you can see, the carbon fiber is obvious with the orange colored cone to it. That also uses a titanium tweeter, and then the polypropylene has that white on white look. So you've got the white polypropylene woofer with a white soak dome tweeter. And then on the left side there, you're seeing the dual voice coil option for that. And we had those in a 6 and an 8-inch version, those models. And again, still to this day, it's a beautiful looking speaker, one that a lot of people recognize, but we have gone and come out with the new and improved version of this speaker. It's long awaited for, and something we felt like we really wanted to do. But what we wanted to do, again, going back to kind of the core of our company and the root of our company, is we've always got the installer in mind, and we're always trying to innovate and come out with something that can make the installer's lives easier. How can we make the job go quicker? How can we make things more efficient, more effective, as well as push the qualities of sound and make sure we're staying at the cutting edge there as well. So what we have today is the new Ghost series. It's available now in a 7-inch and a 9-inch version. So we've taken that, which is an upgrade. We had a 6-inch and an 8-inch version in the past. Now we've got a 7 and a 9. One unique thing about that, as we jump to this next slide here, you see we still have the carbon fiber version in the polypropylene version, but a big change we've made with this this 9-inch version, which you can see on the right side here, that's the 7-inch. You can see how much smaller the woofer is. But the 9-inch, you'll see behind the tweeter in front, it's very hard to see here. The next slide will break it down a little bit better, but there's a mid-range woofer planted right behind that tweeter that actually, you have all these spaces around the tweeter where the mid-range woofer will shoot sound out. So we've gone from a 2-way speaker on our old Ghost design to a 3-way design on the 9-inch version. So the 7-inch, you'll see it's still just a standard 2-way woofer and tweeter. Now we've got woofer, mid-range woofer, and tweeter on the larger 9-inch speakers. And again, we have those in both the carbon fiber material as well as the polypropylene material. So what this has done is allowed us to get more aggressive with how these sound and perform. We now bring out the mid-range a lot better. So when you're listening to music in the home, especially when you put these behind a nicer amplifier and you push more power to them, it really brings that music to life and really just gives that much better of a crystal clear sound, bringing full range, lows, mids, and highs. That's the point of a 3-way speaker. You'll notice also we have, if you look in the corner here, we've got square grills optional for all of our in-ceiling speakers now as well. But to break down the technology behind the new Ghost series, so we've upgraded now to 7 and 9-inch drivers instead of 6 and 8s. We've introduced the 3-way design, which I just talked about on the 9-inch model. You can kind of see a little bit better here that you've got that little carbon fiber woofer behind the tweeter, which pushes more of the mid-range levels. So you've got a directional tweeter still, which is something we had on the previous version, but you can actually move this tweeter and position it to whatever listening position you're aiming for. This bridge has been designed to be able to hold on to, be very sturdy. So when you're installing the speaker, you've got a good solid place to grab to put that up in the ceiling. That's always been a challenge with some of the brands out there. So we wanted to make sure we had something, again, with the installer in mind, that they knew they could grab onto and easily put that up in a ceiling without having to worry about breaking it. One of the big upgrades we've made, or big changes we've made to make this easier, is we now have a one-ring-fits-all solution. So for both the Ghost 7-inch and the 9-inch, they fit the same size rough-in ring. The benefit to this is if you're working on a build house, putting what's called a rough-in ring into the home to mark all your speaker locations. Basically, for those of you who don't know, it's just a plastic ring that goes in during the pre-construction phase of a home, the framing phase of a home, so that when the drywallers come in, they'll throw the drywall up and know exactly where to cut the hole for the speaker. So that's all done, and then when it's time to put the speakers in, that's when you go out there and just quickly throw them up into those holes, and you're done. But anyways, having the one ring for both sizes is now a benefit because you don't have to worry about your customer necessarily, you don't have to necessarily worry about closing or selling your customer on a specific speaker or size. If they're having a hard time coming up with kind of a budget or a price point they're comfortable with, you can throw the ring in knowing that it's going to fit all sizes. So if they do come back and their budget's a little bit lower, no problem. We'll go with the 7s, maybe the 7 polys, which is the lowest price point on the Ghost. But if they're like, hey, I want the best sound possible, then you can throw the 9-inch 3-way Ghost in there. So that was the point for going to a one ring fits all solution. One other big change we made is we've got on the back here this gray back box, which we did not have on our previous Ghost models. They were just an open, completely open, so you could see the speaker magnet and the crossover and different components. And they're all kind of out there, which is typically okay. But now a lot of people are using, the spray foam insulation. And so if you do have to put speakers in before the installation's done, now you can throw these in, have the protected back box on there, which is going to protect the major things about a speaker. People, you can throw spray foam on this all day, whatever it might be, and it's going to be much more protected than our speakers in the past, which just minimizes the possibilities of any problems happening. The most exciting thing, in my opinion, though, about the new Ghost 3 design, even though we've had a lot of new changes here, which are all super exciting, but the new True Grip feature. So you can see over here on the right, it's a patented technology we've come out with another company by the name of Swarm. They're a partner of ours. So we've co-patented this design, which we've coined the True Grip solution. What it is I'm just going to try to walk you through it as best I can without showing you an actual speaker, but it allows you to now install these speakers without the need of any actual tool. So typically with a traditional speaker, you'd have to go up there with a power drill or at least a screwdriver, hand screwdriver, and screw each one of the 4, typically on a speaker, there's 4 dog ears. As you can see on this, they're yellow. So historically, you'd have to drill those or screw those down so that they'd pop into place, come to the drywall, and then tighten and cinch on the drywall to hold the speaker in place. What we've done with the True Grip technology is we've taken away the need for a screwdriver or a power drill. So especially when you're having to climb steep ladders, now you don't have to worry about having a power drill up there to put the speaker in. This is a really big deal, and I can tell you our customers are loving it. Even those who are very hesitant about kind of accepting a new technology like this or very old school, they're even loving this design. What we've done with our design is you'll notice you've got these 4 tabs that are on the front of the speaker. When you first get the speaker, those tabs are actually pulled all the way out, and these yellow dog ears are pushed all the way back into this gray portion of the back box here and kind of move to the side. That way you can slide the speaker up in your hole. And then all you do is simply take the tabs and start to rotate them, and it actually clicks that dog ear, puts it onto a spring. It's already preloaded onto a spring, but it takes it off of a little latch. So now the spring will push that down automatically to the drywall. So you do that with all 4, and now you've got your dog ears compressed up against the drywall. Where our technology stands out from the competition is that we've implemented a second tightening feature to that and security feature to that. So rather than just having 4 springs holding your speaker up, which we know springs can lose tension over time, we've added a second part. So as you continue to push this tab in, as you can see, they're all on the in position here. As you continue to tighten it, it actually removes the spring tension and puts the yellow dog ear, which has threads on it, puts it onto a threaded system with this tab. And so you take all the pressure off of the spring and put it onto a threaded system, which also tightens up the dog ear just a little bit more, allowing the speaker to be as tight as possible against the ceiling. And then again, it takes any pressure off of that spring, so you're never going to have sagging problems as time goes on with those springs wearing out. So a brilliant system. our customers are loving it. Like I said, it's being taken and accepted very well by our customers, and so we feel extremely confident in it. We're very happy with what we came out with and what Swarm helped us come out with. The second part of that is this quick connect feature, which we have on all of our speakers as well. So you'll notice these two traditional binding posts, red and black, that your speaker wire would connect to. That's how speakers look for a long time. They're little compression fits. You push those down, your speaker wire goes in the hole, and they pop up and hold the speaker wire in place. That's traditionally how things have always been done. But now with the quick connect feature, which is this little yellow plug-in over here on the right, we've got our rough and rings. Again, if you go back to the rough-in stage, we've added a feature to our rough and rings, which I don't have a picture here to show you, so bear with me as I explain it. But our rough and rings have a little kind of a box attached to the side of the ring that goes up in the ceiling with a little, with a set of these binding posts, as well as a little cable with the female end to connect into this. So on the rough-in phase, as the guys are putting in the speaker rings, they would take the speaker wire that's been run through the ceiling already, or the wall, or whatever it might be, and they would hook it into some posts that look like this, but they're on the rough-in ring. So at that point, all of your wiring is basically done during the rough-in phase. So when you go back out to put the speakers in, you virtually need no tools at all, and it's so easy to install these speakers if you're using both of these technologies, because your wire connection's already been made. So all you have is this little like 2-foot long cable that's attached to the rough-in ring that plugs right into the back of the speaker. So rather than having to figure out your speaker wire and hold the speaker in one hand and try to spindle up the lines and get them into these red and blacks, now you just plug in this quick connect feature, throw it in the ceiling, hit your 4 tabs, your speaker is done and ready to go. And to give you an idea of what that means on the time-saving side, I do want to show you this. This is just on our YouTube channel, but this shows you exactly how much time you could possibly save during the install feature. So on the left here, we've got our Ghost using the Quick Connect technology. In the middle, we've got a traditional speaker using just traditional binding posts. And then on the right, we've got the combination of the new Ghost with Quick Connect and TruGrip. So you'll see on the right side, it's already been connected and the speaker's done, fully installed, 19 seconds. On the left side, you've got the Quick Connect, which saves a little bit of time on the install portion, but you're still having to use a drill to hit all 4 of your dog ears and cinch that to the ceiling. So you can see now we've already doubled the time of our other speaker. But now that left one's done, which has the Quick Connect technology. Now the center one, I'm still going here. So we're up to 46 seconds, still struggling to get it in, still need to now go through and hit all 4 dog ears. Any day now. As you can see though, we're showing you the possible time savings of when you are ready to install the speakers on a project. If you use these other technologies, you can see how much time you can save on a trim out. Boom, 19 seconds to 1 minute and 14 seconds. That guy was really slow at installing that little speaker. That may or may not be me in that video too. I can neither confirm nor deny that that is the case. Moving on here. We're going to now jump into another new product we've got, which is our Revolve Series, or Rev Series. So this is, again, it's not a new product, but it is a product that we've given a facelift to and upgraded, just like the Ghosts. Similar to the Ghosts, we've added the protective back box, as well as the Quick Connect and TruGrip technologies. The biggest thing to note about this speaker, the biggest difference to note versus the Ghost speakers that I just showed you, is that this entire speaker sits on an axis, I believe on a 45-degree angle. And the reason for that is these are used much more heavily in a surround sound setting. So if a customer wants to do a 5.1 surround sound system or greater, but they can only put their speakers in the ceiling because they either want to keep it clean and they don't want to have stuff in their walls, whatever it might be. We see this application a lot. This would be a great solution for that setting, for an in-speaker or in-ceiling surround sound system. Reason being is you can tilt this whole speaker and point it really directionalize everything about it. So you've got the whole woofer sitting on an angle, which you would rotate the speaker in the ceiling until it points to where you want it to be, the ideal listening position. This is also a three-way design, so you've got that mid-range woofer behind your tweeter here, but this also pivots your whole mid-range bar here, so you can pivot and point that mid-range at the listener even further, and then the tweeter on top of that has more control and can pivot to, again, just fully directionalize this thing and have it pointed exactly at where you want at the prime or optimal listening position. So typically the way these would be installed is you'd have three up in the front near your screen. They'd be your left and center and right speakers or your LCRs. And then you'd have a couple of surround speakers sitting in the back corners, just slightly behind and off access to the listening position, or the couch, wherever it might be. And then you'd throw a subwoofer in, and you'd have a great little 5.1 surround sound system. Huge seller for us. Our old series did very well. We're excited to be able to revamp this and bring a lot of the upgrades that we brought to the Go series as well. Right now, this is only available in a one size, which is a 7-inch version, and that is that. This is not a brand new product for us, but I did want to just quickly highlight it. These are our custom length sound bars. These can be sized to any TV. And the reason I wanted to show these is because we've now got the powered soundbar version of this. We sell a lot of these sound bars. They're a great solution for TVs. TVs nowadays especially just don't put out the audio that customers want or need. So being able to have a sound bar custom cut to fit the exact size and width of a TV and have it done within a 3-day turnaround period is a huge deal. It's a huge seller for us, and if it's not something you're offering, you need to be thinking about it in bedrooms or wherever a TV sits. And honestly, is a great place to try and sell one of these sound bars, and to have something that matches the actual width of the TV, makes it blend seamlessly into the TV when you put the black grill on the front of it. It's just a very clean, nice look. And again, we've now got that in a powered version. So we've got it in a passive 3 version and now a powered 2-channel version. Outdoor audio, just to quickly touch on the new products that have been released more recently. For those who don't know, we've gone and upgraded and come out with a completely new design for our underground subwoofers here in the bright green and yellow. So the green one is our 12-inch burial, the yellow is our 10-inch. We've gone to this new look. So basically the way that looks is it gets buried underground all the way up to this bottom gray ring. And so you have this kind of mesh and top cap that is all that you can see out of the ground when it's all said and done and installed properly. The reason we've gone to this new system is this subwoofer is now fully serviceable. One reason being that it's fully sealed, so we've prevented the possibility of any leaks taking place, which has been a problem in the past with our old design. So we've taken that away, as well as now this subwoofer is fully serviceable, meaning that if the woofer blows or gets driven too hard or lightning strikes and damages something, blows the woofer, this cap can be unscrewed and removed, and the woofer can be replaced without having to dig out the entire subwoofer. So for any of our customers who have installed these in the past or installed any competitor products similar to this, you know how much of a pain that can be when trying to service a client. You end up having to replace the entire subwoofer and dig out the entire thing, which is not an easy task. So now you can just unscrew this cap, replace the woofer, screw it back on, and your customer's back and running. these are some of the other outdoor products that you've had. The AS series over here on the right, the Acoustascape series is, again, they're the counterparts to these subwoofers, and kind of bring the whole outdoor audio design to life. But we've added an 8-inch version more recently to this lineup. So now we've got a 4-inch on the smallest side, a 6-inch in the middle, and our newest addition is this 8-inch satellite speaker, which just sounds incredible. I mean, you have 6 of those 8-inch speakers and a couple of these subwoofers around the pool, and you've got a rock concert audio right there in your backyard, which some of the neighbors may not love, but I guarantee the homeowner will love it who has it. And then this other speaker you're seeing here is a 360 design landscape. So it's kind of designed to sit in the middle of a yard. If there's any gaps in the yard where you need more sound, this will push 360 degrees of sound around it. Whereas these other speakers are designed to sit more around the perimeter of your yard. Kind of like this. This is how a traditional package would look. This is how it would be spec'd around the yard. So this is showing you like a 6 satellite and a couple of aerials on a project. Something to note is we do offer free system design. So if you guys run into any projects where you're wanting help with the design, get them over to your sales rep at Streakwave, and they will work with our free system design team to get you something within a 48-hour period. This is just kind of help you get an idea for what a system design would look like. So you can see here that we've put a little key in. This is obviously a massive outdoor project, but this gives you an idea of kind of the scope and the ability we have here as a design team. So we've gone in and put the speakers where they need to be for ideal coverage, and subwoofers where they need to be so they're spaced out. We've got the tools to be able to measure, how much distance these subs are going to reach until there needs to be another sub place to fill in. So again, a free service that's available to you should you need it. I'm running a little bit long here, but we are wrapped up. So I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you were able to maybe see some new stuff and get excited about some of the products we have available and have coming. And I appreciate you guys being with us. Please drop any questions you might have. Angela, if you want to let me know if any questions have come in, we can go ahead and hit the Q&A portion.
Perfect. Thanks, Trevor. We actually do have some questions in our chat box here, so I'll just go ahead and ask them away. On the TruGrip, they're asking if the speaker can be removed without any damage when installed.
Great question. Yes, it can. So the way you would remove that speaker, let me show you here. Okay, so if you look at the speaker here, oops. So when these tabs open up, when they're open, you've actually got a hole, which is about the diameter of a pen or a Phillips head screwdriver, any kind of screwdriver really. It's a fairly good size hole, so you can use, again, just about anything. But you would take like a Phillips head screwdriver or a pen or something about that diameter and just push this dog ear back. So as you push it all the way back, so long as you have this tab fully open, that dog ear, the yellow dog ear, is going to go back and place and stay put right there until you adjust that tab back to close it. So you do that to all 4 real quick, and your speaker's ready to come out with no damage.
Nice. All right, next question is going back to Vessel. Can Vessel be controlled by a third-party automation system such as RTI?
Excellent question. Yes. So with our Legacy series, before the new and improved X series here, we had automation drivers with with URC, with Crestron, not have our RTI driver put out yet. We were working on it actually with RTI. However, with the new X series, we've had to go back and we've got to create all new drivers. And because we've just launched this, we're in the process right now of having those conversations, not just conversations. The Control 4 driver is being worked on right now as we speak. It'll probably be done within the next week or two, so we'll have that available for anybody who does Control 4 automation. URC, we've been getting requests for, same with RTI, so we'll be working on those shortly, as well as Crestron again. But unfortunately, we do have to go back and come out with new drivers for each of those systems. The fortunate part is that we can work with all the same people who helped us create our first drivers, and hopefully, there's not a lot of changes they have to make in order to push out a successful driver for the new X series. So again, Control 4 is being worked on right now. We'll be done in the next week or two, and then you'll start to see some of these other ones come out, and we will do our best to keep you updated as those come, but don't hesitate to reach out to your rep and ask if you're still waiting on one. We're also very reliant on kind of your guys' feedback. So if there's an automation driver you'd like to see VSSL work with, or control company, let us know, let your rep know, and we'll obviously take that feedback, and the more we have, the better, as it kind of puts the priority list together for us.
Thank you. Another question on the VSSL. Will the original A1 be able to be upgraded to Amazon with a firmware update, or does someone have to buy or repurchase the A1X?
Excellent question again. Unfortunately, no, the software update will not work with the legacy products. So there is a chipset that we had to have in the new X series in order for it to work with Alexa. So you have to have an X series VSSL product for it to work and have that feature. Good question.
All right. Are you able to briefly talk about custom soundbars?
Yeah, just beyond what we talked about, is there a more specific thing to that? 'Cause I mean, I can answer any questions you might have. We kind of touched on custom soundbars here a little bit. But I did go over it pretty quickly here. So if you're wanting any information above and beyond this, hurry and jump on and ask more specifically. But right now, with the way our custom soundbars are, these are not to be confused with the VSSL soundbar that I mentioned earlier when I was talking about new VSSL products to come. This is a TruAudio product, one we've had for a little while now. The VSSL soundbar is going to be powered and obviously have VSSL integrated into it, so it can work in a VSSL ecosystem. It will work differently than the way these soundbars do. But the way these soundbars work is we've got them available in two options for different price points. So we've got a polypropylene version and then a carbon fiber version. It's a little bit higher price point. But we can fit any TV down from a 47-inch width up to a 95-inch width TV. And we can have this, that's a 95-inch TV, not actual width. I believe the actual width we go up to is 82 point something inches. So if you need to go beyond that, we have a full custom department that can actually build something to any size. We've done 100-inch soundbars and beyond in the past, but those take quite a bit longer. These have a 3-day turnaround. Our full custom soundbars and department that are built with MDF enclosures, not these aluminum. See here, those take more like 2 weeks to turn around, and they cost a significantly amount more. But again, these will fit any TV from 47-inch TV up to 95-inch TV. We cut them in-house and get them exactly the size. So the information we need from you is the TV make and model, and if you can, the physical width of it. We like you to get the width just so that as we look it up on our side, we can confirm the match. If it doesn't match, we can come back and ask questions. But we prefer you to give us that information as well. These are passive soundbars, and they come in a 3-channel. We can do them in 2-channel and even just single-channel solutions. So again, these are going to need power to be sent to them. So you've got to have some sort of an external amplifier to power these up. Where we sell these the most is in little 5.1 systems. So you'd sell this as your left, center, and right channel speaker. It would be hooked up then and have wire running back to a receiver, a surround sound receiver, and then you'd maybe have a couple of surround speakers also wired to the system, and that would give you a full 5 data subwoofer. You'd have a 5.1 surround sound system. Again, where we sell a ton of these right now is on TVs that are mounted to brick walls above fireplaces or rock walls, where you just can't really put speakers into the wall, and maybe the ceilings are vaulted way too high to put speakers in the ceiling. This soundbar makes a great solution for that. Like I said, we sell a ton of them. I've got customers who sell these literally on every single TV in the home, including bedrooms.
Awesome. I think that helped elaborate about the speakers. So I don't see actually any more questions in our quick Q&A box. So I think that it is safe to wrap it up. And I want to thank everyone for attending and Trevor for doing a great presentation. Again, like I said earlier, that we will have this posted on our StreetWave YouTube channel and as well as on our website. And if there are any questions throughout that do arise, please don't hesitate to reach out to your StreetWave representative or SoundVision directly. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you so much, guys.